Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Helen, Best Book Forward, and today I'm going to talk to you about my February reads. I did really well. I read 13 books this month, and I have 7 favourites that I'm going to tell you a little bit about now. Okay, first up is The Lost Past of Billy McQueen by Neil Alexander. So this book opens with Billy, who is having an interview. It's a really awkward interview. We learn that he is living in England and hasn't been back to Northern Ireland for 30 years. He's estranged from his mother, who could not accept his sexuality. He is also grieving for his first love, Connor, who disappeared when he was a child, and nobody ever discovered what happened to Connor. Billy gets a phone call to say that his mum is in a coma and that he should go home. He returns to Northern Ireland, reconnects with friends and decides that it's time to discover what happened to Connor. So it's quite a moving read, but it's also got a lot of humour, and if you love the 80s, you will love this one. There are so many great music references, things like smash hits, Scott and Charlene and things pop up in this book. It is a really great read. I thought the mystery was brilliant as well, and I loved it. So I would definitely recommend The Lost Past of Billy McQueen by Neil Alexander. Okay, next up, The Favourite by Fran Littlewood. I love this cover so much. This one is out in June, and it is about a family who rent a holiday home, this huge house, for them all to go and celebrate the mum's milestone birthday. So we have the grandparents, their grown-up daughters and their children, with partners, etc. At the beginning, there's a very near miss accident where the dad inadvertently reveals that he has a favourite daughter when he tries to save just one of them from this accident. So awkward. It's told from multiple points of views, and it goes back and forwards in time, so we really get to understand this family, what the sisters are like, their relationships with each other, and why this dad might have a favourite. There'll be no spoilers here. It's about sisterhood, how we compare ourselves, how we experience our childhood differently, and it is just such a great family drama. When I saw the premise for this one of a parent accidentally revealing their favourite child, I thought it was such a great premise, and Fran has really pulled it off. This is such a great read. You will notice that I have been tabbing this book, and that is because Fran is going to be a guest on my podcast very soon, which I'm so excited about. So watch out for news about that soon. Okay, next up are The Eights by Joanna Miller. How gorgeous is that cover? This one is out April. It's a debut. Historical fiction. It's about 4 women who are some of the first to study at Oxford University. This is one of those books where you get to know the characters so well and love them so much that at the end of the book you feel like you're going to really miss them, and that's how I feel with these characters. I just loved reading their stories. There's some secrets in here as well. It's about sisterhood, ambition, and what it was to be a woman that wanted more at a time where that wasn't the norm. It is a brilliant read. Tracy Chevalier has done a quote on the front saying, "Entertaining, moving. I came to love these 4 women as though they were my sisters," and I completely agree with that. So one I would definitely recommend. Do keep an eye out for this one. Okay, next up, I think this is my favourite read of the month. It's Night Watching by Tracy Sierra. This was recommended to me by Gillian McAllister, author of Famous Last Words, Wrong Place, Wrong Time, and Just Another Missing Person. This is such a brilliant thriller. Scarier than the sort of thriller I would normally read. So when Gillian told me about this, she told me that it was terrifying. And there was a morning I woke up really early. I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. Couldn't get back to sleep, and I decided to pick this book up. And it is terrifying. So it is about a woman who is home alone with her 2 children. She wakes in the night and she realises there's a man in her home. She manages to get her young children to this hiding hole that they have. And whilst they're hiding, she can glimpse through a vent and she sees this man and she knows who he is and why he might be there. It is terrifying, particularly as this man is trying to sort of lure them out, and he sort of, when he speaks to the children, it just made me want to cry. It was so scary, but it is a brilliant, gripping thriller, really clever. You get to the point where you just don't know what to believe, and it's a really satisfying end. I just tore through this one. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. So highly recommend Night Watch. Next up is Don't Make Me Laugh by Julie Raeside. This one was published, I think, the beginning of February. So this is about Ali, who is a 40-something-year-old radio producer who is having a really hard time in her life. She's quite lost. She is supposed to be signing a comedian to host their morning radio show when she befriends this comedian, and, you know, she starts to feel like, you know, alive again, until she realizes that all is not as it seems with him. This is a really dark novel. I mean, it does balance sort of its darkness with humour. There's a lot of anger in it. It's a really timely read. I think it'd be a brilliant one for book clubs. There is a character in here who will make your skin crawl, but it is brilliantly written. It's a debut, and it's another one that I would definitely recommend. So that's Don't Make Me Laugh. Does anyone now think, when they hear Don't Make Me Laugh, do you think of Ariana Grande in Wicked? I won't try and do an impression, I'll save you from that, but that's what always goes through my head now. Okay, next up is Tilt by Emma Passy. So this one is out, I think it's out March. I'll have to check and put it on the screen. This one would be another brilliant book club choice. This is about a woman who is heavily pregnant. She's in IKEA shopping for a crib when this huge earthquake strikes, and it destroys Portland and the entire Pacific Northwest in minutes. So the woman starts walking because she wants to find her husband. Again, it's told in alternating timelines, so we sort of look back to see, you know, her journey to where she got to where she is with her husband. It's quite moving in that she talks to the baby a lot. This is one of those books that I know will pop into my head from time to time, and I will wonder how everyone is. I won't drop any spoilers, but I love books that stay with me. I love books that pop into my head like that, and this is another one that I think would be a really great book club choice, so do keep an eye out for Tilt. Okay, next up, The Cleaner by Mary Watson. You've probably seen this one all over social media. It's getting a lot of love and it is a great read. I caved and bought it because I couldn't resist all the great reviews. So this is a story of revenge. When we first meet Esme, she is throwing herself in the path of a car in order to secure her place as a cleaner for this group of people, which sounds really drastic, but Esme is a woman on a mission. She believes that one of the women in this little community is responsible for the downfall of her brother, and she is out for revenge. This is a brilliantly plotted book. I very rarely, I mean, I would be a terrible detective, so if I say I didn't get it, I rarely do get twists and things, but I thought this was so clever. Really brilliant read. I read it in about a day. It's quite a chunk as well, but yeah, another fabulous read. So yeah, those are my favourite reads of February. I would love to hear from you. Have you read any of them? Do you fancy any of them? And what was your favourite read this month? Come and let me know in the comments, and I will be back with more book chat soon.